Hi, back to watercolours today. Just changed my easel from my studio easel, radial one, to the box easel, which gives me a slight slope. It's still pretty vertical, but it's I would say it's about 80 degrees, maybe. Just cover my computer screen. I'm going to do just a pure watercolour, sunset, well, attempted sunset. The usual colours, the usual suspects: lemon yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey and burnt sienna. It's a Ron Ranson technique, really, using the hake and wet in wet. The colours are Ron Ranson's with the addition of the burnt sienna. But Steve Cronin must take credit for this way of letting the paint dry and using great wedges of paint. Ron Ranson used the paint straight out of the tube and used it wet, and that's dried now on a much bigger tray because it slops around a bit. But the advantage of that is that you've got ready to use paint. You can get hold of a lovely lot of neat paint straight out of the tube and onto your support. But with this way, of course, you have to scrub at the paint. But it's a nice thing to hold. So credit to you, Steve. A great innovation. I've been having a conversation online with a couple of online friends. I won't embarrass you by giving their name, but if you read the last, or you looked at the last video that I did, the acrylic, we're talking about how therapeutic painting is, why we do it, what we get out of it. But I consider myself to be a semi-professional artist. It's not my day job. Well, I haven't got a day job now. I'm just about almost retired from physical activity, laying carpets, which I've done for 40 years. But I've developed as a painter, as far as you can see, over many years. And maybe it was therapeutic to begin with, but it certainly isn't therapeutic now. And I realise, of course, that art is used as therapy for people who are having mental problems, depression and recovering, whatever. It's very good for that, but I don't do it for that reason. I do it because I'm driven to do it. It doesn't affect my blood pressure, which is being treated as it has been for several years. Occasionally I have experienced transcendence, where I've probably been listening to a bit of music and I'm oil painting and I've just completely lost myself in it. It doesn't happen very often, and I suppose that would be therapeutic, but that was just a byproduct of the actual, as Arthur Madison calls it, the debris of struggle, the process of producing a piece of art, especially when you don't know what you're going to do or what you're going to end up with. And I have sold many paintings over the years, so to that extent I'm a professional painter. So I've got nothing really more serious to say about it. I do it because I want to do it. I taught myself to do what I do these days over 40 years, probably longer. I couldn't do it to begin with. I couldn't draw, couldn't paint, but I got the books and the DIY stuff, the oil books, not paint by numbers, but showing the processes, mostly American books. Then I got into the watercolours, which I found incredibly difficult, with Roland Hilda. But I can do a lot of the stuff that Roland Hilda does, like the trees, the canopies of the trees. The skies, I don't. He took a long time doing his skies. They were complicated. He would lift out and he would dry and then overpaint and lift out and overpaint, dry, and so on. He took a lot of trouble. But Ron Ranson came along 30 years ago and stood it all on its head by doing all these rapid watercolours with a 2-inch brush, butcher's tray, a few student quality colours, inexpensive watercolour paper, and he wet it. And the rest is history. Now, of course, we make it look easy. You only see the successful ones. They don't all work out well. It's that therapy of tearing it off the board and throwing it out of the window or throwing your brushes at the wall. That happens, that's not therapeutic, that's not very good, that increases the blood pressure. But it does happen. I wouldn't want you to think that everything I paint you see as a finished product. There are casualties, not many, but it'd be a waste of my time if I couldn't do some of these in next to no time flat. But I'll give that more water. I want giving you a sort of an unload really, not an upload, but an unload. But it's practice, practice, practice. If somebody wants to buy your work, sell it. If they want to pay their hard-earned cash for one of your paintings, let them have it. I gave a lot of stuff away, which was wrong really, I still do. Because people are prepared to pay money for it. Not a lot maybe, but I have had paintings that have sold for several £1,000s, oil paintings, Venice. But I didn't get that, I got a fraction of that. That was a go-to price. At the time it was a great exercise and I wasn't being particularly original. But anyway, so we're going to do a painting of my local lake or large pond with the islands on a nearby piece of common land. So I'll do a sky and I'll use, because of sunset, I'm going to use a bit of light red in the sky and a bit of lemon yellow, I think, or maybe some alizarin and light and this lemon yellow. It's quite brilliant. So we'll put that in, and where the water's going to go I'll put it in, a bit of red. And a bit of sienna, and then I'll put in some night clouds. Now I want that quite heavy there because it's going to reflect in the water that. And now some night clouds, some ultramarine and Payne's grey. Mix a bit of red in it as well. And we can probably put the light in the middle. Get that in there. Right, okay. Probably a bit darker over the top because it's coming to the night and night clouds in. Okay, now you need a cloth. I'll just take off the excess water from the bottom of this, and as it expands, just re-clip. If anybody doesn't agree with what I say, feel free to comment. What I say today, I might not say tomorrow. What I paint today and what I lay down as a cast iron law of painting will be different tomorrow. So put a background in, blue. Look at that, quite low there, the horizon. I can put in some thicker paint. Above that, let's get that reflected. I know a lot of you are fans of Stephen Cronin, as indeed am I, but I don't copy his work because I do my own. And as I said, since you're beginners, copy me, copy Stephen, copy Alan Owen, copy Seago, because you will in time develop your own style. Alright, let's just get that down there. Right, that's the background. This is all very techniquey, I know, but so a bit of burnt sienna now. I'm going to scrub away at the burnt sienna because I want it all nice and soft, and the ultramarine. My blue and my burnt sienna give a really good dark. Can change the colours a little bit. Some hairs. This is a new brush. Got a couple of hairs coming out. We had a delivery from off of eBay. We've got a lovely cat that turns up with our sliding doors at the back. And he's been in a few times. And last Saturday, my wife come showed me her iPad charging lead in 4 pieces. The little devil had chewed through it. But he's a lovely cat. We're going to get a cat. We'll wait till we've had all our holidays. It wouldn't be fair just to leave it or put it in a... Well, we've never put a cat in a cattery. We've always relied on neighbours. Cats seem to be quite happy about it. I'm trying to get my horizon quite right. Keep going across there. I'll put in some trees behind that, but I'll put a nice beach here, but this is just my background. Get more heavier blues in as well. Trying to create areas of distance, planes. When that's a bit dry, I can scrape out, lift out a bit of that, make a line across there to show a bit of wind ruffling. So let's just come here a bit bigger here. Right, that's quite a reasonable background. Let's just get some header in there. Right, okay, that's my background. I'll move that to there because I want to dry that. Right, oh, before I do, I want to just lift out some bits and pieces, and what you put above, put down the bottom, like that. Well, I won't overdo it. Just. Right, okay, I'll dry. Headphones off. Right, now I'm going to put in some canopies on some of the trees up here. See, I'm using the brush very, very lightly. And I will put in some some twigs and branches on there. I'm going to put one in here. Just showing you how simple it is to do reflections and so on. Like, initially paint the reflections when you paint above, put it in the wet paper below, and it will bleed down. And the harder reflections I can paint in at the end. Right, that'll do. Right, okay, let that dry a little bit. And I'll start, that's going uphill then. But I can change that quite simply when I find the brush. So you know I'm working a bit of chaos here. Wet the brush, inch flat, and just lift out. And just across there, still going uphill. Oh, I might put a bit of an island or something there. Just gives a bit of wind ruffle. Okay. Right, now we're going to do the beach. I can always put this in the mountains, it's a bit twisted. You can of course draw it with a pencil and a ruler if you wish, as long as it's faint enough. Let's just lift out a bit of that there. Right, a bit of a bank. Now a lot of colours. I'll start off with a bit of the siennas. Just put this going across here. I don't really find this paper too conducive to dry brush. It's just a little bit too slick for that, but you can try it. I mean, so it's just a matter of doing. If it works for you, then use it. The reason I'm painting it dark in here is I'm going to scrape it. I'm going to show some grasses. Not that quite dark in there. Ultramarine, a bit of light red I suppose. So it'll show when I scrape. And it's a warm colour, so let's get some dark in there now. Right. My little bit of card. Got another one ready to go here. These are sort of pebbles on the shore. I'll go into with the rigger in a minute in this. Bit of a scrape. It only works if you do it dark enough. Right, okay. That is okay. A bit of a rig up. A bit of water. Use my sienna, and you can use the black. No, sorry, the blue of the burnt sienna. So let's just flick up some glasses, and when you put stuff up there, oops, put it underneath. Right, okay, let's put some up here. Probably behind the mount. Right. Excuse me. Put in some nice trees. I'm going to try not to obliterate what's behind this. I just want a bit of sort of brushwoody type of tree. It's quite dark. You get really nice fine lines with the hake. I'll finish it off with a rigger, but it does show when you do that. You can tell when you change the brush. A nice dark silhouette bit here on that side. Alright, let's flick in. Overdone. Let's do that again. Bit of brushwoody. This is a sort of Seago technique. Doing this. That'll do for that. Let's go back to the rigger. We'll just put in some flicks. Right, that's that side done. We're going to do some stuff in here. On the bank. Just some trees on the bank. I'll reflect them in a minute when I've done them. But very simple, just a few lines. Right, just making it look as if there's a wood, but there is. this whole lake is surrounded by clumps of trees. And some here. I'll try and make this as simple as possible so that you can comfortably have a go at it and just do lots of them. I think they're quite effective. Alright, that's it's a very simple sort of painting. Alright, now what that needs is a good dry and a good wet with clean water. Right, headphones off. I think maybe I should put a bit of an island over there. That's a bit of a mess, isn't it? So I will. Let's just reclip that there. So I'll put a bit of a bluey, greeny. Also balance that side of it. Bit of shrubby, cover that up. Right, just get a bit of a I'm trying to get out of jail here. Dry, brush, airbrush, air. Back with the rigger. I'll just put some in there. We need to rest on the board here. Well, I don't know if I've improved that or not. But I'll put a couple of birds in this nice little bit here. One here. Sign it. I usually always sign on this side. Sorry if I'm asking you. Right, I'll put it in a mount. First I'll do that. Oops, just to stick it on there. Now, what colour? Oh, that's too bad. Let's just move that up a bit there. Where's that stuck? I said we could just tilt it a little bit in the mount. I should have paid a bit more attention to that. Well, there we are, very simple, loquacious demonstration. Hope you enjoyed that. Let's zoom you in. Alright, there's my foreground. All very simple. I scraped out a bit, whoops, with the card. My stunted sort of tree on the edge of the water. And come across to the other side where I had to rescue that bit. And that doesn't look too bad. Do you know what I've forgotten to do? Which I'm going to do right now. Is other reflections here for these. So, just wet, just a little bit. And then just put in that colour. Right, just wait for that to dry a little bit. I'm just going to dry that off, so take your headphones off. Because I want to put in the some chunks. Right, that's just a little, hardly shows really, but it was worth doing. Okay, there we go. Local lake, or a lake. Late afternoon, we call that, late winter afternoon, something like that. Thanks for watching, bye bye.